What's up, guys? Crypto Muser here with your daily news and analysis in the crypto markets. Now, we have a good old-fashioned, basically bar brawl within the crypto asset regulatory space. Now, the SEC and the CFTC are basically in this power struggle on who regulates crypto assets moving forward. And obviously, the SEC came out swinging with this new administration with Gary Gensler at the helm. And it seems like the more the time goes on in this administration, the SEC is proving themselves to be the more obviously hard-hitting agency in the crypto space. And a lot of people can have their reasons on why they think the SEC might be doing this. I think that the SEC is just known to be this corrupt agencies working for the banks. Obviously, it makes sense. Big banks and these big institutions, they want to slow down crypto as best they can. They know it's moving forward. They know it's going to be the future, but it's all about short-term profits for them. So they want to slow it down as best possible, even if that's hurting investors in the U.S. or hurting U.S. innovation. They don't care, right? They care about making money now. At some point they'll give in, and I'm sure the big banks and institutions have they're ready to move forward. But in the meantime, they're using their lobbying machine within the SEC, and they're trying to basically take all the power in regulating crypto assets. But the thing about that is the SEC basically has this huge, and I think this is the reason why they've been delaying this case against Ripple so much. They know that if the Republicans take over the House and Senate, which it looks like this might just happen at the end of this year, it seems like the Republicans will basically try to take that power away from the SEC that they've been, battling, for the last year or so. Now, the Republicans want the CFTC regulating this market, which it makes more sense. The SEC obviously has been clear. They believe, Gary Gensler's out there. He won't comment on any particular token, but he basically says everything looks like a security, and that is the most craziest way to go about things, right? Obviously, all crypto is not securities. Yes, there might be security tokens out there, and if you guys actually gave some regulations and clarity in the market, maybe we know which coins they are, but you can't just say everything looks like a security. So in the CFTC, which regulates commodities, and FinCEN, which regulates currencies, if you put those two together, it makes more sense, right? The SEC, yes, they should have a part in this maybe, but the fact that the SEC is trying to take hold of everything and go after exchanges, saying that exchanges are selling securities, but they won't tell them which coins are securities that they're selling. It's just it goes to show how the SEC is going about things. They want to keep things as unclear as possible so they can sue anybody they see fit, right? Because the SEC, they're all about making that money via settlements, right? It's all about money here. It's always all about money. They want power from all those settlements they get from other cryptocurrencies. They see an early adoption of a future technology that's going to take over the world. They want their piece of the action, right? We've always talked about the SEC being this mob-like agency that just wants their piece of the action. So it really is about power and money. They want the power to regulate the space and to get those settlements in these up-and-coming companies in crypto, and also slowing down in the technology in the process, giving their big bank institution crony people enough time to get settled in the market, put their money in the right places, and then they'll let it go, and so they can all make money on the backs of the retail investors. I mean, it's just the way corruption works in this country. If you're blind to that, I don't know what to tell you. Do some more research. But let's get into the video. Before I do, guys, if you guys could please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, will be very much appreciated. But let's get into it. So this is on CNBC. SEC nearly doubles crypto unit staff to crack down on abuses in the booming market. Now, this is what I'm talking about. You have this basically power struggle between the CFTC and the SEC. And, recently, I think it was forget what the act is called, but there's an act that's a bill that's trying to go through with Congress, basically giving more power in this space to the CFTC, and you can tell the SEC feels that stress of they could lose a lot of power with this lawsuit, obviously with Ripple, but honestly with the Republicans coming in, they want to give the power to the CFTC. So you can tell the SEC is kind of backed in this corner, and now they're like, all right, we're going to double down and hire a bunch of people within the agency to basically crack down, as they say, on the abuses in the booming market, which is BS. Anybody they've gone after it's never been about fraud or scamming people. It's always about going after good quality projects that are actually trying to do good. And it's so funny to think that the SEC is doing this on behalf of investors. Meanwhile, they're hurting investors throughout the whole thing. So James Filan had something to say about this. He actually tweeted this out yesterday afternoon, or actually this morning he tweeted this out. XRP community, in a power move, to rule the entire crypto space, sideline the CFTC, and preempt congressional action regarding what agency should be overseeing crypto markets, Gary Gensler nearly doubles the size of enforcement crypto assets and cyber unit. Now, it's pretty unbelievable that that these two government agencies are basically battling over the power to regulate this space. Meanwhile, the rest of the world has clear and concise ruling and rules that projects and companies can abide by. So these companies are going to go elsewhere. As this fight goes on within the CFTC and the SEC, while it's hurting innovation in this country, while it's hurting investors in this country, now you're just going to see these projects move elsewhere and pop up in other countries that have more, healthier markets. Because you can't, how are you going to be a project or a new company in this space, in the U.S. especially, and want to, it's like, what do you do? If you can't, you put everything in the right spot, you have the lawyers, but they're, telling you, we don't really know what the rules here, so you can go about business, but at some point in time, the SEC could come down on you and sue you, and that could put you out of business. So it's like, why would a company take that risk? They would not. So the fact that the CFTC and the SEC are battling over this, have this power turf battle about regulating crypto is the worst thing for the U.S. It just shows you how politics ruled this country, and it never benefits the people. It's always a power battle within these politicians that don't care about investors. They don't care about their constituents. They care about the power and keeping power where they are. And it's just the sad part about this country. That's the way it is. So Jeremy Hogan came in and said the SEC hires 20 more lawyers and staff to crack down on crypto abuse, but fails to hire a single lawyer to draft clear regulations as to what abuse is. The new lawyer training process must be very difficult. SEC nearly doubles crypto unit. Now, it's just really it's one thing if they were actually going after fraudulent actors out in the space, people that are actually doing scamming investors. They supposedly are here to protect investors, but I don't see them going after anybody. Anybody in this space. If you've been in this space long enough, there's so many scams, so many pump and dumps, and no one ever goes after them. The SEC is so ass backwards the way they do this. They go after Library, they go after Ripple, they go after Telegram, all these groups that have never scammed, they're never, trying to do anything negative towards the investor, but it takes power away from the SEC or makes the SEC look bad, so they go after these companies. But meanwhile, you have scams and fraudulent actors all over the place, scamming people left and right, but the SEC does nothing. So it's so just ridiculous when they say that they're doing this, because there's so much abuse in the space. They could care less about investors. It's unbelievable. So Linda P. Jones, who was a great follower on Twitter, by the way, she tweeted this out, and this was about Brad Garlinghouse was on Fox Business yesterday. I'm not going to show you the interview today, but if you guys want to go check it out, I believe Bank XRP has a video on YouTube if you want to check it out. But Linda P. Jones tweeted out this: I just watched Brad Garlinghouse do a great job in this interview. They are letting us know all about the DCEA. That's that Digital Commodities Exchange Act that was reintroduced in Congress to give the CFTC more regulation of the space. Which aims to give commodities, the CFTC, oversight and close regulatory gaps. So this is what I'm talking about at the beginning of the video. It's just like the SEC sees this happening, and that they see that, by the end of the year, it seems like the Republicans are going to own the House and Senate. That's my guess, but it looks like it's going that way. So the SEC, you can tell they're backed into a corner here. They think they're going to lose power, and that's why they keep delaying this case with Ripple, because they know they're going to lose this case, right? So they know at summary judgment in this case, they will lose power because the precedent will be set, and other cryptocurrencies can use these same arguments that Ripple is going to use. So you can tell the SEC is basically, it's like when you corner a dog, what happens? They attack. So what is the SEC doing? They're doing their best to, try to get as much power as possible before they basically are, choked out of this regulation by enforcement strategy that they're in. So, it's kind of a waiting game at this point. I still think a settlement comes in with this case, but it's starting to I question that sometimes because the SEC seems so reluctant to even come to the table with talks with Ripple. But it's ridiculous because they're gonna. I think they know they're gonna lose a lot of power, but maybe they just are like, a kamikaze pilot at this point, and they don't even care, right? If they're gonna lose the power from the CFTC anyway when the Republicans win the Senate and the House, then they might as well just run this, let this lawsuit take its course, and maybe lose this at summary judgment. But it's kind of hard to think that the SEC would actually do that. But at this point, I wouldn't be surprised either way. So Ron Hammond, who is basically a lobbyist, I think, but he's a director of government relations at Blockchain Association. But he's always keeping us up to date on things happening within Congress that have to do with crypto. And he has this long thread. I'm not going to read through it, but I'll definitely check it out because it's a really good thread. But it's telling us what's happening with this power battle between the CFTC and the SEC. And it's like Congress wants the CFTC really regulating the space, but the SEC is basically with the administration, the Biden administration on their back. At the beginning, at least, it seemed like the Biden administration was with the SEC and all this, but it seems like if the Democrats want any chance of winning these midterms, they better get on the off of the SEC's tails here, because people are going to come out and vote against the SEC, and that's the SEC. If that's seen to be backed by the Biden administration and backed by the Democrats, then you're going to see a huge vote against Democrats because of that. So they better. So in this thread, he basically talks about how the Democrats could change course here and go against the SEC, to try to pick up those votes. So it's crazy how you have this power struggle, and in the meantime, it's just hurting investors. It's hurting innovators in this country. It just tells you how it all works in the U.S. and why we're so slow and the way everything happens in politics. It's so slow moving because there's always this battle between the left and right, or whatever it is, black and white, and it just slows down progress. And in other countries, you don't see that. In other countries, things are actually moving forward. There's regulation for crypto assets in so many other countries around the world. Meanwhile, the U.S. is just dragging their feet. And like I said, it's just hurting investors, it's hurting companies, it's hurting the U.S. as a whole. So they better get the shit together. But it's just, if you read this thread, it just shows you that they don't care about people. They don't care about investors. It's all about a power struggle, right? It's all about who gets to regulate the space and take down the bad actors in quotations and just basically win those settlement battles and make money. It's all about money and power with these agencies, and it's a sad thing for the U.S. It really is. So the next thing I want to show you guys is Stefan Hoover tweeted this out, and this is he's been a great follow on Twitter. By the way, he's digging up the dirt on the ETHgate, on the SEC lawsuit, everything about it. He's been unbelievable. So he just dug this up, and this is getting things. This gets very interesting here. Just listen up. Folks, I think I finally have it. Challenge my timeline. So during the Obama administration, Alibaba was investigated for irregularities by the SEC. Then Trump wins the election. Jay Clayton, former Alibaba advisor, becomes SEC chair. Alibaba files a merger request with the SEC to buy MoneyGram. If you guys don't know who Alibaba is, they are a money transferring company based out of China. So Hammond and Clayton basically are working on behalf of Alibaba to get that merger with MoneyGram. So it continues down. Clayton brings in Hinman, who handled Alibaba's IPO and was named Dealmaker of the Year with Leming Chen Alibaba in 2014. Number 5, Clayton and Hinman want Alibaba to do the MoneyGram deal, but the United States National Security Council withdraws authority from the SEC and rejects the MoneyGram deal with Alibaba. 3 days later, it is announced instead of Alibaba, Ripple gets the deal with MoneyGram. So there you go. There's that personal, connection there with Hinman and Clayton. Wanted to make the deal on behalf of Alibaba with MoneyGram to make a bunch of money, obviously, right? And Ripple gets the deal instead. So obviously, all of a sudden, there's this personal, I don't want to say hatred, but personal conflict there with Ripple and Hinman and Clayton. Number 8, the SEC, Hammond and Clayton start working with the Brooklyn Project, Consensus, Quorum, and the Ethereum Alliance to basically try to steal the business from Ripple, right? They have this personal conflict with Ripple. Now they can't do it with Alibaba. Now they're going to do it with JP Morgan, Consensus, and Quorum, and the Ethereum Alliance. So number 9, Alibaba, JP Morgan, Ethereum Alliance gets back at Ripple with the free pass and regulatory clarity for Ethereum. I mean, we know Hinman getting paid $15 million from his law firm that is highly invested in Ethereum. All of a sudden, he gives Ethereum, with the help of Jay Clayton, by the way, he gives the Ethereum the free pass. And this could also explain the huge hatred for Ripple. Maybe Ripple was responsible for not using MoneyGram to test Ethereum-based cross-border payments. So there's a personal conflict here now where you can see where there might have been something between, Hinman and Clayton with that Alibaba deal and with JP Morgan, and then Ripple is trying to cut in and steal that business. And you know how we just talked about how power, it's all about power and money here. Obviously, Clayton and Hinman, just because they're working for the SEC doesn't make them good people, right? They've been working in the private sector their whole careers, basically, on trying to make these deals and make money and earn power in the business. You're telling me just because they work for the SEC, they're going to do the right thing? No, they're going to keep trying to benefit themselves. They're going to keep trying to treat this as what it is. It's this political power grabbing BS, right? So it makes more sense. It's all connecting the dots here. Why did Jay Clayton file this lawsuit against Ripple the last day of his job there? Why did Ethereum get a free pass and it left XRP and Ripple in purgatory? It all kind of makes sense when it comes down to Hinman and Clayton and what their past dealings with Alibaba, JP Morgan, Ethereum Alliance. I mean, it all smells, it all sounds, you can just taste the corrupt dirtiness of the whole thing. So that's why when an investigation happens into the SEC, they're going to have to clean house. I mean, this runs deeper than most people think. And, I do have faith in the justice system. And I think that the way John Deaton and everything is going on right now, they've messed with the wrong community, put it that way. They went after the wrong community, went after the wrong company in Ripple, and they will pay at the end of this. Mark my words, they will pay. The last thing I'll say in the video, I'll talk about, actually, let's just read Crypto Whales. I saw this tweet and I thought it was perfect. The SEC is one of the most corrupt governmental agencies ever. They pretend to protect investors, but in reality, they accept millions from lobbyists to manipulate the markets. Seriously, think about it. What fraud they've tackled in crypto? I can't think of anything. That is the big thing that I can't stand about the SEC. They supposedly are protecting investors. Meanwhile, you have 67,000 proposed investors they're protecting suing them with the Ripple case. But you see all these, I mean, if you've been in crypto long enough, there's so many fraudulent actors out there. There's scams, there's pump and dump schemes, there's phishing schemes. They're all over the place. Do they ever go after these people? No, you never see it. They're always going after legitimate companies like Ripple and Library and Telegram and exchanges they're going after. They're going after DeFi products that actually help investors. They are exactly the opposite of what they propose to be as an agency. They hurt investors in the U.S. They hurt U.S. innovation. The SEC needs to be shut down at this point. Oh, can I get any more mad about it? Now, the last thing I want to say is about those emails, the Hammond emails that are, I said in the video yesterday, that now they're trying to say it's attorney-client privilege and that's why they should be protected. They are going about those emails as if it's all about the emails now, right? There's nothing else out there, right? They're not even, I feel like they're not even fighting the case anymore to do the Howey test and XRP actually being a security. That's just all, falling by the wayside now. Now it's all about the Hammond emails. That's all the SEC cares about. They're spending all their time trying to protect these emails, filing appeals, filing, brief after brief saying this is why we should be protected or this is why they should be protected. It's all a bunch of nonsense. And I think, and I've been saying this, for months now, as soon as the SEC is forced to hand over these emails, the case is done. It's settled. There's no way. I just don't see it. I know there's something so detrimental in these emails, and even Stuart Alderati, head counsel at Ripple, is kind of alluding to the fact that they even kind of probably know what's in those emails, because if you think about it, the Ripple has past SEC employees, past commissioners that actually were working with the SEC in the SEC while that Hammond emails and Hammond speech took place. So you can probably tell that they probably know what was in these emails too. So I'm telling you right now, I still am the 99.9% chance that this will settle. But in that small chance that it won't, it's only because the SEC is so corrupt and they just will not. If they're going to, the CFTC or whoever's going to take power away from them, if the Congress is going to come in and take power away from them, they will take this to the grave. They will take those emails to the grave. They will not allow them to see it, anybody to see them, because not only probably does it hurt the SEC in regulating crypto, I think it'll really lead to even further investigation in the SEC and how they do things, especially when it comes to crypto. But I will end the video there. Please remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. But remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Please do not take anything I write or say as financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.